Good morning. It is day 6 of the quarantine. I just grabbed breakfast. It just came maybe about 5-10 minutes ago. It's 8:16 in the morning. I've actually been working all morning, so I didn't get my morning workout in. I think what I'm going to do is I'll eat breakfast, and then between breakfast and lunch, I'll try to get my quote-unquote morning workout in. And yeah, so because I don't really like doing the movements that they have on a full stomach. I tried that a couple nights ago, and that actually didn't work out too well for me. Or I just felt uncomfortable, I should say. But anyhow, let's go ahead and crack in. We do have the fruit. This time they gave a lychee. That's the special fruit on this one. And then there's a donut of some sort. The coldness from that fruit is causing it to condense on the outside. It's a bowl of cereal again that they did like the last time. And then the milk. Uyu. I guess it says the same thing on both sides. I thought English was on one side and Korean was on the other. We have the coffee tea set that they always give. A spoon for the cereal. Ooh, don't know about this. A hard-boiled egg, but this time it looks like someone cracked it for me. Still smells fine, but we'll see. A fork. 2 bottles of water, which I've been so busy this morning, I didn't even make breakfast. I didn't even make coffee yet. And then we have the sandwich, or breakfast sandwich. Let's see. It is goguma, sweet potato. Oh, okay. Bagel, sandwich. Yep. This is the same thing as I had yesterday. It's the, yeah, it actually looks exactly the same as yesterday. Guess today's little video thing will be a lot shorter since the cereal and the bagel sandwich are the same. I've already had it. Man, this weather, the fog has been coming back in again, and it's been wet and rainy. I'm gonna have to like do some more research. Maybe it's just the local area. I wonder if it's raining up in Seoul as well, but I am an hour away from Seoul. And if it's anything like the Bay Area in San Francisco, that doesn't mean anything, because you could be in San Francisco, it could be like pouring, and then over in the East Bay and like the far side of Oakland near Berkeley, it could be really nice and like beautifully like hot. So I think the only 2 things that I've not had on the table right now are the lychee and the donuts. So I think that it shouldn't be all too much of a shocker to see what we're doing. Again, here is a better view of the bagel, the cracked boiled egg, cereal with milk, and the fruit. So, and yeah, let's go ahead and dig into this. I call it a donut. It looks like croutons that have been crunched up into a single ball, and there's a little bit of powdered sugar on it. It's dense, also moist. It's good. Wish it was a little bigger, but flavor is spot on. That was super pleasant. Now here's the lychee. Just a side note, as I peel this lychee, it's actually not all that hard. They don't have Disney Plus here in Korea. I tried to watch it last night, and it says that it's coming soon, which is really sad. Luckily, I do have a VPN that I purchased right before I came here to Korea, and if I just use the United States, I can get it. But man, sad times. I just can't go into the Disney Plus. I just figured I'd have the same stuff, but maybe it's they don't have the subtitles yet. Anyhow, this has been cleanly picked, and I expect there to be a couple seeds inside. Fruit in Asia is always delicious. There is that seed. just so juicy. All right, I remember it having 2 seeds, but whatever, 1 seed is 1 seed. Well, yeah, that was practically it. I'll go ahead and crack into the rest of this and just finish it up so I can get back to work. But everything else here is pretty much the same as it was last time. So yeah, hopefully not too many days where it's just the repeat meal of the previous day. Hopefully there'll be a couple days in between, if you know what I mean. But anyhow, I will be back at lunch. Good afternoon. And for a complete change of pace, I should actually say good morning, because it is not noon yet and they delivered the food. I don't know if I got it in the camera just now when I went to go grab the food, but I heard them drop the food by the door. So I put on my mask and then I walked over to go grab it, and there was literally someone still there in like a full bunny suit outfit type deal. So I closed the door. Like, I just opened it slightly and was gonna film, and because they were still there, I'm like, oh, sorry. Close the door again. They were pretty shocked because I don't think they were expecting me to open the door so quick, but they did ring my doorbell, and maybe it was they dropped the food and then they ring the doorbell later. I don't know what was going on, but I might hear something about that later. They might get upset, but I don't know. I heard the food drop, so I went to go grab the food. Sorry if that's against the rules. That was not on purpose. There was no hate in that action. I was just going to go grab the food. Ironically, I'm not actually all that hungry still. I'm still kind of full from breakfast. I got my workout in, and then I took a shower and then got quite a bit of work done. Luckily today, I am waiting on a few items from other people. Isn't that the story of our lives, though? Yeah, so the silverware. We have a soup. And ironically, the bag is hot. So I think the fact that I grabbed it so quickly and they delivered it so quickly this time might actually be water. Might actually be the reason why this food is actually hot. Yeah, the rice is hot. Okay. So maybe this is what people were talking about when they're like, it's light on food. Because this bento box has only 1 piece of fish in it and then some eel, which I'm totally okay with eating eel. And then the Pepsi, which I will just go swap out in the fridge. But as I was saying, I'm totally okay with eating eel and all that. It's just, I kind of wish that if they're doing it more based on like a numbers game, meaning like how many dollars, won, this is costing per meal and just trying to average it out. I wish they would just look at it more on a weight perspective and making sure that a certain amount of weight was going to be delivered, because I mean, this is probably enough food, but it does worry me. And okay, like for the first time in the 7 days that I've been here, 7 days that I've been here, I'm actually glad that I lugged around those heavy suitcases. And as a side note, it's like, I know that I think on like the first day or second day, I was kind of upset I forgot to bring alcohol, but you're actually not allowed to bring alcohol. It's in the announcements. You're not allowed to have alcohol in the rooms to consume. Like I said, I did bring a couple bottles of wine, but those are gifts, so I'm not going to be drinking them. Plus, I don't have the utensils to open them anyways. I mean, if I got really crafty, I'm sure I could break something open. That being said, today's meal is looking a little light, and if we take a quick peek here, there is the belt fish again. This was actually really good yesterday, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we have this is definitely eel, unagi style. And then I want to say that's kimchi pancakes, some mung bean, pickled mung bean, kimchi, and then some pickled green. We have rice, and then we have our, I believe that again is seaweed soup. I made myself another fresh cup of coffee, so that's from actual grinds. But yeah, there we go. I also wonder, they do have a thing where they're like, you're not allowed to cook in the room. I don't personally feel that making fresh coffee is cooking, but that being said, I am being very cognizant of how I throw away my grinds now. The first time I did it, I just tossed it into the orange bag that they gave us. But now I actually save like one of the soup or the rice cups, and I actually put the grinds all of them into that one rice cup or rice bowl, and then I close it up and I put that separated from the rest of the trash, so that I don't know if they're opening it and separating it like they should be, but at least that'll make it a lot easier for someone to just throw the grinds in the compost if they do that. I don't know how they segregate their trash here. You know, I'm gonna take the American ignorance, so to say, and just think that they do it compost, recyclables, and burnables type of deal, or landfill, I guess would be the other way to say that. And because of that, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for them to be able to do that. I do wonder if they're gonna start playing the recording again today, because they've played it 2 days in a row now of the rules and regs of how to exit, what you're allowed to have shipped here, what you're allowed to do here, etc. So like you're not allowed to go in the hall. I just said it the opposite way. But that being said, I believe the only thing I haven't tried on this meal is the unagi. So let's go ahead and get that cracking. This was more of a story time than a mukbang. I believe that's how they say that. I do look forward to this. Oh, side note. So I was talking about that coffee grind bin that I've created. With the fish stuff, I also put the fish bones in there, because if I remember correctly, coffee grind is like a scent remover, so the room doesn't smell like fish for the rest of the day. Like this whole bento box in front of me is really like smelly. Although it tastes great, it is probably a smell that I personally don't prefer, so I wouldn't go running around looking for it. Reminds me of a seafood area, right? It's that brackish smell. But yeah, let's go ahead, crack in. And the next Brother Eats Green. I wish they were still around. The next Vlog Brothers is up, so I'll probably watch that while I finish this meal here, because I think, yep, this is the only thing I'm gonna be trying on camera. So we have the unagi right there. You can clearly see the bone coming out of it. It's one of those fish that you actually eat the bone, and a lot of people who are texture eaters don't actually like that. They slice it up so that it's easier to chew. I'm trying to get the flavor. You know how you have like an expectation in your head, and then when you actually eat something, it's like totally different? Like, let's say you asked for a Coke and I gave you a Dr. Pepper. I was expecting that unagi flavor to be like Japanese unagi, but it's nothing like that. It actually tastes like a Thai dish, and it like surprised me. Oh, it's like a soy sauce based dip that they dip the unagi in. I don't know if it's actually barbecued as well or broiled. This might actually be more along the lines of like steamed again, and then they put a sauce on top of it. It's actually really good. Okay. And I said that it has a very strong fishy smell coming out. It must be the steamed fish on the left here, because this only smells like soy sauce now that I'm really like smelling it, like sniffing it, stuffing it up my nose. But yeah, that is delicious. Just in case, I'll try this kimchi pancake, or what I think is a kimchi pancake. I think I've already had one of these though. I'm pretty sure I have. So here we go. Yeah, I've totally had one of these. It's delicious. Super nice. The food's still warm this time, which is probably part of like because I grabbed it so early. Meal looks fine. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. I'm actually watching a thing on the Korean Memorial Museum of Korea, or the War Memorial Museum in Korea right now. I believe that's in Seoul. Just trying to see what they have inside, see if it's something I want to spend my time trying to make my way to. Yeah, everything's good. I'll check back in at dinner time. We'll see if it comes early or late. And hello again. We are back with dinner, and I have actually already grabbed the food. It actually came a little earlier today. Here's the dessert, yogurt. It's like 5:40. Yeah, 5:40, and they delivered it. Okay. Looks like that purple dressing again. And today's food seems massive. This dinner seems massive. Good God, this is heavy. Yeah, so a lot of rice, a lot A lot of meat this time around. I think that's katsu. Looks like katsu. Some soup, probably the potato soup. They're definitely getting more reckless with the meals. Obviously there was the torn or the cracked egg earlier, but this bag is actually torn. And then a bottle of water. 2 bottles of water. You know, the thought just occurred to me. I was like wondering if somebody outside was literally just going out and grabbing their own food, and then they could like literally go to the next door neighbors and grab their food too, which is kind of, it's obviously a very deceitful thing to do, and like that would be a really shitty thing to do, but I was kind of wondering if anyone's done that because they're hungry. Just grab like 2 people's meals. This is pretty neat. I get a corn dog tonight apparently, on top of the salad, and 1 piece of fruit. It's fine. Better than no pieces of fruit, right? The bag is empty. There's a big gash on the side of it here. So yeah, let's go ahead and crack this open. Nothing really happened between lunch and now. I just finished up some work. I found out something really important actually for studying Korean. I believe it's bitchum. Could look it up real quick actually. Just wrote it down, is what I want to know about the change in the consonant when it comes at the end. Batchim. Batchim is the name. That is really important, and I'm going to look that up either later tonight or tomorrow or continuously as I'm here, because now I want to learn what the sounds are. And I would say one of the unfortunate things about the sounds is that they change as to the positioning that they're in the word. So it's one of those things where I've never really been too good at that. That's probably one of the hardest things for me to memorize, in like particularly in Japanese, where a good example is probably, let's take the word sky, 10, which is 1, and then the sign for big underneath it, which is the sky, 1 big item, right? And in a name in Japanese, I mean, and I know I'm going into it kind of like something very specific, but the point is that when you put it in a name, I believe that sky, which is pronounced 10, could be pronounced ami instead, which is totally different. So like AMI versus TEN. And it's one of those ones where it's dependent upon what comes before or after it. Location, or just even the word that it's in. Sometimes it just changes altogether because of the fact that it's a special word. It's hard for, I think, English speakers, because although we do have things like rough and through, so, you know, we do have our own kind of crazy things, and I'm not saying that English is easier by any means, but I'm really used to an N always sounding like an N and a C always sounding like a C. I guess technically there are times where it could change, but for the most part, when you see like my name, Charlie, it's never going to be anything other than Charlie. Now you change the placement of like one of the letters, and all of a sudden it picks up another sound altogether. And I guess the one that's in my mind right now, I think it's called sigot. It is the little human character in Chinese, but it has an S sound typically. But when it comes at the end, at the bottom of like the formulation of their characters, it takes on a T sound, unless the beginning of the next character next to it, the next formulation next to it, or following it, starts with an M sound. Then the little human guy at the bottom takes an N sound. So it's like little things like that where you're trying to memorize that, you know, when you're reading something. And I don't know when that mistake, is what I'm going to call it, will come up for me, where I'm trying to read something and it's like I just forget that, oh, it's at the bottom, so it should have a T sound, or there's an M next to it, so it should have an N sound, you know, and I'll just say it as an S as it is. But I'm going to have to look up all those and start working them into my memory bank so that I won't make that mistake as often. Anyhow, let's go ahead and check out what we have for dinner here, particularly because it's still warm and they came quite early. We will begin with the potato type soup here, followed by, it looks like, just a simple fried rice. Again, I believe that is katsu. And then the the corn dog, I think it is. The pickles, I believe those are probably going to be like the sweet relish type pickles again. Then a salad and an orange slice. So, oh, and then yeah, we have the dressing, the yogurt, and I made some tea. So they're playing the recording quite early today. Yeah, it's not even 6 o'clock yet, and they're playing the recording that the food's been delivered. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna wipe hands real quick. And keeping this thing around and using it as a napkin is actually a great idea. Spilt a little of that seaweed soup on my pants earlier and was able to kind of really clean it up with a wet napkin, which was kind of nice. So it's really dense. I don't know what this sauce is, but I'm gonna just take a quick bite of the katsu on its own first to get a feel of what that is. Deliciousness. Okay. The dipping sauce is a honey mustard. Quick dip of this in there. And that's perfect. This is a great meal. Maybe this is why lunch was so light with the one piece of fish, really, right? And then the pickle. Let's see if I can get my face out of the shot. There we go. No? No focus? There we go. Yep. It's a relish pickle, so not my favorite, but I mean, I'll take it. It is familiar. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this going. See, again, I have a lot of trouble reading this like cursive style type font. I think that's supposed to be tomato. So if you could tell, just deduce this first character and the last character are the same. And it does look like the double doors, which is 2 doors, which would be the letter T. And then the character following it underneath right here, which is like a table that has something over it, would be toe. And then that second character, the mouth looking thing which has an M sound, and then the stick with a line after it, which would mean an A sound, ma, to. So I think that's tomato. And then, yeah, this is ketchup. Ketchup. So tomato ketchup, tomato paste. It's, and at the bottom there it says tomato paste, 43.8%. But I think in a weird way, it's probably good that no one else is in this room with me, because if they didn't want to learn Korean with me, they'd probably go crazy, because I'm literally watching all these YouTube videos and reading my book on my iPad that I've rented from my library, and I do everything aloud so I could actually have a confirmation of what I'm saying. I would think that it would probably get tiring to hear me just read everything in Korean, particularly when it's in English. If that makes any sense. Like an English word with a Korean accent. It's almost like I'm making fun of it, right? Otugi. 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 The brand is Otugi, I think. I think that's how it's said. But that's the little dude right there. Otugi. Has one of those double letters, which I'm not 100% on yet. And like I said, sometimes a certain consonant that comes in a certain area of the word could actually throw off the whole sound of the word. But let's go ahead. I just put that strip of ketchup right on there. I should just say, I think this is a corn dog. I don't actually know. It might be a cheese dog. And it's a corn dog. And it's really struggling to get that focus there. There you go. It's good, and in a weird way. I'm more upset that it's not fried because it doesn't have that nice like crunch to it, but it's definitely good enough to satiate any want of home. I think this is probably the most American thing that they've served. And I do know that corn dogs are a big thing here. It's on the list of things that I want to go try while I'm here, but I believe, yep, that's everything. The rest I've already tasted in other videos, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my meal. Oh, I was saying that Disney Plus doesn't work, but I have a VPN. So the new ScarJo movie comes out today or yesterday. Black Widow. Gonna eat dinner and watch that tonight. So I will probably check you out in the morning. Until then.